Today I'm going to make a special video. It's going to be dedicated to the show Spartacus that went off the air last week, and I'm going to use the analogy of the show to bring home some points. Now, if you watch the show, you would see that it is, to the uninitiated, just a show that's about violence, nudity, a lot of swearing, but it's a historically based show that really shows how a person can go from one stage of life to another with a mission. Now, the main character, who was given the name Spartacus, was a man who simply wanted to help out. He was inducted into the Roman army, the auxiliary, they call it, men who weren't from the land of Rome, but helped, so they were the auxiliary. And he was basically taken in to defeat a common enemy. But when it came time to fight the enemy, Rome changed and put him on another path against someone else who was not a threat, and would basically make his enemy able to come in and conquer his lands. So he rebelled, and because of this rebellion, he was sent to basically die in the arena. Now, when a person was condemned to die in the arena, they had to go wherever they were to the arena and then fight. It would be sort of like if you were condemned to death, and they would tell you, we're going to put you in the ring against the heavyweight champ of the world, and if you beat him, you can live. So chances of anyone defeating these gladiators in the arena were very slim. And so all of his men who were with him, they all died, and because of his fighting spirit, he overcame great odds, and he won, basically. But he wasn't able to be freed because the person who put him there, the commander of the Roman army, said he was just, really a bad person and he deserved to die. And so he was put into a ludus, which is a training ground for gladiators, and he was taught to become a gladiator. And he had a hard time. He didn't really, take it very well, and he didn't really, make a lot of friends. But he was a fighter. He had a spirit, and he became the champ. Now, what happened was his wife was taken away in slavery when he was taken away as well, and he wanted to win her back. A gladiator could actually attain money and freedom through victories, and so he was able to get his wife back by paying a certain amount of money to his master in the ludus, which is the training area for the gladiators. But the master realized that if he lived with his wife there, he wanted to escape, so he planned his wife's death. And when she was brought back to him, she was stabbed, and she died in his arms. And it was basically, the story was that on the way there, someone attacked the caravan and killed her. And so Spartacus, he decided, well, his wife's dead, he's a champ, he's going to just live his life, and just that's his fate. But what happened was there was a party that was taking place. A young man was turning 15 years of age, and they would have basically a party when someone turned 15. It was like a bar mitzvah. Okay, it's like that, but it was when you're 15 in the Roman days. And so he was going to do an exhibition fight with one of his friends, and during the exhibition fight, he beat his friend, but it wasn't for blood or anything. It was just just for show. And the kid said that he wanted to see him kill his friend in victory, like the real gladiator would do in the arena. And since he was a slave, he had no choice but to kill his own friend. So after that, he decided, what, this isn't right, I'm going to escape. And he and a collection of the other gladiators, they escaped. And that's where the story continues on. So what he did was, he started to show that injustice is a grave thing for anyone, and it affects everybody. And he started to go out into the area and gather up as many slaves as he could by going to villas and attacking the villas, killing the masters, and then gathering up slaves. And by the end of his time, his last battle, he had amassed over 30,000 slaves. And he was to take on a man called Marcus Crassus, who was basically hired to end the rebellion. and Crassus succeeded. Most of the slaves died. The ones who didn't die were crucified on the road to Rome as a show that if you're a slave and you escape, you're going to be crucified. So, looking at the story, you say, well, what's the gleam from this? What's the victory? All the slaves were either killed or crucified. Spartacus never found his body, but he died on the show. He died, and all his men, all his generals, everybody died. But if you look in Rome today, you'll see no slaves, and that's the point. You see, in life, it's not about having a cause that you may see come to fruition. It's about having a cause that will propel something and someone to a greater sense of themselves, to a greater sense of accomplishment. Just like today, there are no slaves in America. We, as a matter of fact, have a black president. But if someone a long time ago would not have said to themselves, this don't make no sense, I'm not going to be a slave anymore. Just the thought, just the germ of a thought basically makes things start to just come forth and fester and grow into a burgeon into something greater. So when I see the analogy of Spartacus, and I see what he was able to do, I realize a few points. One, any injustice has to be dealt with. And it doesn't matter if you're one person, you can find someone to help you. And if it's a true cause, it'll grow to enormous proportions. And another thing is, it doesn't matter if you're not prepared to fight. When you first enter into a decision, you can learn, you can train. The men were trained to fight. They were learned to use a spear and the sword and the bow and arrow to fight. Also, the most important thing is that freedom does not come at the end of the battle. Freedom comes when you decide to fight. Because even though this particular conflict took over probably a year or two to be resolved, the second these men left Ludus, left Rome, they were free. They had to continually fight for their freedom, but they were free men. And each one of those people who died, they died a free person. Be it by the sword, be it from the elements, be it from being crucified, they still died free. Because had they laid down their arms and gave up, they would have been welcomed back into slavery. But because they fought, they said that my life of freedom is worth living and dying for. It's better to die by the sword than by the master's lash. It's better to live and fight and die knowing that the cause that you herald is worthy to be continued on throughout the rest of history. And that's important. So in our life, it's the same thing. If you decide that you want to do something, you know that you have to be able to sustain a lot of things that come to you to take you back off your track. Like if you're trying to find a good job, and someone says, well, why don't you just work here because this will pay your bills and it'll just take care of you. We say, no, I have training for the specific task and I want this job. I will fight till I get this job. Or if you want to acquire a certain mate, or if you want to learn a specific skill or do something that is in your heart a desire, you have to continue to fight. Now, when it comes to doing anything, people look at life as, oh yeah, things should be done easily, quickly, without any effort, without any stress. Well, that's Hollywood. In life, you have to fight. And one thing I do like now, talking about being able to overcome, I like the shows like The Biggest Loser and those workout tapes like Insanity and Tap Out and P90X. They show that a person has to really dig in deep and put in a really concerted effort for a sustainable amount of time to get the results. And if you can't do it, then you don't get the results. You don't earn it by doing nothing. You earn it by giving it your all. And so that really shows us in this world, in this time we live in, that we have to work hard to get what we want. There's no more thought about just taking a quick little course, or taking a quick little thing that you do, like go here for a day and come back a winner, or take this potion for 2 weeks and come back with a great body, or you take this course and be a doctor. No, you have to put in a hard and a concerted effort, and it really is worth it. When you come out, when you come away as a winner, and you know that you put in the effort, you put in the hours, and you've gone through the anguish, and you've had failure, and you overcome the obstacles, you know that you are able to say you did it. And there was one scene in the show Spartacus where the men were going into places and they were conquering these villas and freeing slaves, and each time before they left, people say, "Who are you?" Or they would just say, "I am Spartacus." And that really meant that I took on the cause, just as this person who did it, who showed me I can be just as convicted and determined, because we're all in this together. I am Spartacus. And just like in Christianity, you can say that you have the same spirit, you have the same mission, you have the same gospel. When a person is able to look at their life, and they had a goal, they had a plan, they knew it was going to be obstacles, and they overcame it, they can say, "I deserve this. I deserve to be where I am. I deserve the accolades I get. I deserve the adulation that I get. I deserve the rewards because I did it." And I'm able to say that you can do it too. So thanks for watching, and you have a great day.